Hey guys, good morning, it's Graham, and today I'm going to be carrying you along to see Spain's Moorish castle. Before I jump too far in this video, if you haven't already, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and drop me a comment down below. That being said, let's jump right into the video. So I'm here in Granada. Today is my only full day in Granada, and I'm going to explore Alhambra. If you're not familiar, this is Spain's most visited tourist destination in the entire country. It's an old Moorish castle left over from when the Muslims came up from Africa. They did not tear this down during the Reconquista, and it still stands to this day. It's supposed to be an absolutely iconic thing you have to visit while you're here in Spain. Being that I do have a full day here in Granada, I decided to pay the 15 euros and go up and check out the castle. So I've just had breakfast. I'm gonna throw on some clothes and get out the door, and our tour starts in about 40 minutes. So let's go. Okay, so I'm on my way to Alhambra right now. I'm running a bit late, that's why I'm not doing a ton of fancy cinematic shots, but I'm like 2 kilometers away and pretty much sprinting, so let's go. We should be there soon. Come on. That's where we're going. All the way up there. Okay guys, so I'm inside of Alhambra right now, but I'm running late, so I hope, they told me I needed to be at this palace at like exactly 10 o'clock, and I'm not. I'm running a bit late, so I hope they still let me in. We'll see what happens. Alright guys, so I did make it inside the palace, and it is so beautiful. I just walked around a little museum, and the first museum I was not allowed to film in, and the second one I did have the opportunity to film a little bit, so I got a couple of shots for you guys. But wow, I mean, this place is incredible. So for those of you who don't know, this palace is absolutely iconic in Spanish culture and history, and it really is pivotal to Spain's history. The Alhambra and Generalife is a compound based on the top of the biggest hill inside of Granada, and it looks over the entire region. Back before the Spanish Reconquista, this is where many of the Arab rulers lived, and this very palace was occupied by some of the kings of Spain, the Moorish kings that came up from Africa. During the Reconquista, Spain of course recaptured this palace, and thank goodness they did not tear it down as they did many other monuments, unfortunately. So today you can come here and get a real life piece of Spain's history. So while I'm in the principal palace right now, like I said, this place is a compound. It is huge. It took me 10 minutes to walk from the entrance just to this place right here, this palace. So today we're not just going to explore this palace here, we're going to explore the whole grounds, see a lot of the Roman ruins, a lot of the Moorish ruins, and just see what we can find. Let's go. One of the things that I find most interesting about this palace is it's built in this big semicircle, and you can just picture all these different doors, what the palace would have been like during its heyday, you know, people running around in the courtyard, selling things, kids playing with a ball. It's really crazy to think that at some point in history, for many, many years, this was somebody's home. It wasn't just a museum. This was a home, and it was the center of an empire. It's really, really something to think about. Alright guys, so I just stopped for a coffee atop this hill because I haven't had my coffee yet and it is absolutely freezing, so I'm gonna enjoy this coffee and then keep going with the tour. Wow guys, I'm telling you, it does not get more beautiful than this. This is absolutely incredible. So behind me, the shots you're just seeing is Alhambra, Granada's old Arab neighborhood. We're gonna go and explore it later. Stunning. I think this is probably the most beautiful Spanish city I've ever seen. This is my 11th major Spanish city, and it is absolutely breathtaking. I mean, just phenomenal. Unbelievable. So what you're seeing behind me, though it does not look like much from where we are right now, it is the Barrio Castrense. Barrio, all that means in Spanish is neighborhood. And essentially what these were behind me, what you're seeing, these were army barracks or little houses that would house the men that were protecting the Alhambra. Each one of these is designed in the Moorish style, which is the entrance. You would have a small patio, and then surrounding that would be the different rooms. So unfortunately, of course, the entire houses, as you can see, are not left, just the bases, but you can get the gist of what these would have looked like back in the day and how these men would have lived protecting the Alhambra. Notably, of all the little structures here, one is definitely the biggest. I'm standing in front of it right now, and it has quite a large patio when you step in, but the most interesting thing, it has a pool in the middle of it. So historians aren't exactly sure who this would have belonged to, but they assume this was probably the commander of the Alhambra or the commander of the troops that lived here. And once again, you can just imagine, I mean, I'm in like a principal street right now. You can just imagine the lives that were built here. These were families that would have lived in these little things, and of course now they seem very small, but back in the day, this would have been quite the posting protecting the king. So here is the large house. You can see this is the entryway, and then this room extends way over that direction. Then you go over here, and in the middle there's that pool. You can see the drainage system there, and we're talking quite extensive. There's several rooms on the back side there, and then a really big room that butted up against the castle wall, and it even extends. There's a staircase that extends down there, goes all the way over this direction. So I mean, pretty much half of this living structure here was taken up by this massive home that likely would have belonged to someone quite important here in the Alhambra. Wow guys, this is absolutely phenomenal. So we are at the very top of Alhambra right now, and from this tower you can see literally all of Granada. You can see the Sierra Nevada, which is the mountain range behind me right now. This is really, wow. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in Spain. There's a plaque over here that says, when King Ferdinand and Queen Isabel reconquered Granada from the Arabs, they came up here and hoisted the flag of the Spanish army, showing once again that Spain had reconquered its land and the Arabs were driven out of Granada. So a very, very historical spot here. Really, really incredible. Okay, so I've made it off of the tower and I'm sitting in this little garden right now, and even stuff like this, like the shot you just saw a second ago, it's incredible to think that this stuff was built 1,000 years ago, that this type of luxury and this type of high quality of life was enjoyed before there was hot water, before there was barely even running water. It's really phenomenal to think that people could have developed things like this and enjoyed such a high quality of life. But what's even more mind-boggling is to think just on the other side of these walls that you're seeing was plebeians, you know, was regular normal people who lived in tiny little shacks, while here up on the mountain the royalty enjoyed these beautiful gardens, these beautiful palaces. It's the difference is really stunning. So I think I'm gonna chill out here for just a couple of minutes and then try to head down the mountain. I don't even know what else is here. Like, I have seen such little of this place and I've been here 2 hours already. It's genuinely phenomenal. So I'm gonna see what else I can find. All right, we're gonna go from here to here. So just to give you guys a sense of the magnanimity of this compound, what you're seeing behind me, this is a street. This is a literal full street with shops, with homes. I mean, this place is so big, and what's so incredible is when they built this, it's not just a castle. There's dozens of castles in Spain. This is not just a castle. This is quite literally like a little city that they built on top of this mountain, and it's phenomenal to think that it was so large. I mean, it's large now, so you can only imagine just how grand it must have been in its day. One really strange thing about this experience has been the amount of tourists I've seen. People speaking American English, I've heard loads of French, I heard some Russian earlier, even heard some German. So I don't know how exactly they're tourists in Spain right now, but apparently they are, so it's a good sign, I guess. Okay, so totally by accident, I stumbled upon one of the most iconic palaces here in Alhambra, and it is Casa de Nasrid. I was just walking, exploring this little garden when I stumbled upon this place. I don't even know, I just totally forgot about it when I did my research beforehand. It is absolutely so beautiful. Once again, it just takes my breath away. So the building you're seeing behind me was initially a prayer room where the royals or different members of the household would have gone to pray during the call to prayer. As you can see, the little enclave indicates the direction of Mecca, so they would know which direction to face while they're praying. And wow, what an incredible view once they're done, looking over the entirety of their city here, Granada. Okay, so I'm gonna try to work my way over to Generalife, the other palace. But oh my gosh, I mean, I'm absolutely blown away by this place. Huge. I've been here 3 hours and there's still so much to see. Alright guys, so this wraps up part 1 of this video. In part 2, I'm going to be exploring Generalife. I'm going over there right now, so be looking out for that, as it should be up within a week or so after publishing this video. If you've enjoyed it, like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment down below, and hang on for part 2. I'm sure that Generalife is going to be so good as well. Alright, so I will see you guys next time. Muchas gracias y hasta luego de Alhambra. Ciao.